Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. Well, I gotta say, thanks so much guys yesterday for the outpouring of support. It was Working Money channel's second birthday, so yeah, I've been doing the channel for 2 years now, June 12th, 2020. And I got a lot of great messages from you guys, tried to respond to as many as I could, but there were so many. I just wanted to thank you guys for watching the channel again and showing me your support. Just thanks so much, even just for, just sending a congratulatory comment. It really does mean a lot to me. And I love doing the channel. XRP Twin actually reached out to me a couple of weeks ago, and he posted this. It was an interview he did with me on his Coil blog, so I will link it in the description if you guys want to read a transcript of the interview I did. That's from XRP Twin on Twitter. Follow him if you guys aren't following him already. So here's the Coil article here. He's got a little profile with some of my videos here, some screen grabs. So I'll link it in the description. And it came out on the day of the 2-year anniversary for Working Money channel, which actually happened to be a complete coincidence. I want to keep moving along. So Ripple Rich posted this, and this with regards to VeChain. So we're seeing VeChain price surge right now, and it doesn't seem as though we're seeing a tight correlation with VeChain and Bitcoin, and that has been the trend for a little while now. So for the massive strides VeChain has registered in the last few years, discussions around VeChain price continue to spike. As expected, there are speculators keen on intraday trading and scalping. From the one-way traffic and price uptick of the last week, it is highly likely that their longs pumped prices. On the other hand, the true drivers of VeChain prices are the project's fundamentals, and then it goes into some of the fundamentals here. Ultimately, they want to change how the supply chain is done and allow enterprises to, in the simple steps, incorporating DLT, specifically its blockchain as a service, its BaaS platform, and toolchain has been widely adopted. So these are some of the fundamentals that we're seeing VeChain being used for. And yeah, look at that price. VeChain right now at 0.0099. So almost 1 cent. It did reach a high up here, an intra-year high of 0.013. Came right back down after we saw Bitcoin dip. So let me just bring Bitcoin up here. So Bitcoin did dip, so it did affect VeChain a little bit. But ultimately, VeChain is marching to the beat of its own drum. The market right now as a whole, Bitcoin, XRP, let's take a look at XRP. Everything just seems to be moving sideways. XRP trading at 0.191 and Bitcoin right now trading at 9,400 per BTC. Can't seem to break that $10,000 mark, or 10,500 rather. That is the price that we need to pierce in order to make our way higher. And Litquidity posted this on Twitter. It looks like we are in a kangaroo market. This is a market moving sideways. So the bulls move up, the bears move down, and kangaroo moves sideways. But Phil Skinner actually brought this up, which I thought was kind of funny. That is a cow with horns. FYI, that's a cow with horns, not a bull. So somebody obviously being cheeky with Photoshop there. So kangaroo market, guys, we're seeing a lot of sideways momentum. Not really anything to write home about as of late. I am realistically hoping we are going to see a bit of a downturn. So I can get into a VeChain position. I don't want to buy it right now. It's at all-time high. Okay, I'm predicting that if Bitcoin does make another move down, that possibly we could see VeChain hopefully at about 0.0068 cents down and around here. That's what I'm targeting. We'll see what happens. I mean, these markets are ever moving. So what else is new? Well, XRP Crypto Wolf tweeted this: central banks will introduce CBDCs in a cautious way to avoid fragmenting the financial monetary system. This news article from the New York Times. So the beer flu pandemic is accelerating the development of central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs, as it has prompted millions of people to turn to cashless payments, central bank officials said on Thursday. Central banks have been examining how CBDCs could become a reality since Facebook's efforts to launch its Libra cryptocurrency stablecoin raised the prospect of a private sector social media giant competing with traditional currencies. So they're ramping it up because of Facebook, essentially, and the beer flu pandemic is helping things along. Down here it's saying the beer flu will be remembered by economic historians as the event which pushed CBDC development into top gear. This from Benoit Cœuré, that he was speaking at an online event in London. Cœuré co-chairs a group of central banks working on the building blocks of a CBDC and will report back in October. Central banks will introduce CBDCs, but in a cautious way to avoid fragmenting the financial and monetary system. There is no such thing as an off-the-shelf CBDC, he said. And this advancement is mirroring the phenomenon of the shrinking use of cash and, of course, more or rather less less people are using cash because of the beer flu pandemic, CBDCs will eventually be released to the public in some way, shape, or form. And of course, every country is doing their own thing. So it's part of the system. And that just means the good news for that is that cryptocurrency regulation obviously has to be part of the system in order for CBDCs to exist. So that will push things along, hopefully help companies like Ripple to move along, to start hitting it into high gear with their plans. Also companies like VeChain in order to help them with their supply chain plans. So this is all great for the cryptocurrency ecosystem. If you are invested in cryptocurrencies today, you will be a happy camper. Echoing that sentiment here, Grayscale reveals why institutional investors are pouring millions into Bitcoin. Well, the world's largest digital currency asset manager, Grayscale, says institutions are now looking to crypto as a potential hedge against global economic instability. Now, we read about this from somebody else. It wasn't Grayscale, but now Grayscale is also saying it. So Rehana Sharif Askari, director of the Investor Relations and Business Development, reveals that average weekly investment in the firm's crypto trusts have increased more than 800% this year. So Sharif Askari says the beer flu has played a significant role in boosting the Bitcoin narrative. Like we said, the beer flu and policy implications have set the stage for Bitcoin to be seen as a store of value asset. Institutional investors are taking active long positions in digital assets through our products. It's because they're looking for an asset that is scarce, that can be used as an inflation hedge in a world where we are presented with unprecedented monetary stimulus. So this a direct result of the Fed printing enormous amounts of cash to help the economy, to help boost the economy, so there isn't a national or even perhaps worse, a global depression. So we're hearing it from more than one source now. Bitcoin, a very prominent investment now in these institutional investors' portfolios. Not only that, we got Natixis, and they're listing Ripple in the top 5 cryptocurrencies in an infographic that they recently released. So Natixis, a subsidiary of Group BPCE, one of the largest banking groups in France, has published a new infographic providing a brief overview of 5 different cryptocurrencies, including Ripple. The infographic notes the benefits as well as the increasing adoption of Ripple's global remittance solution. And here's the infographic, guys. I'll link it in the description for those of you guys who want to read it. Top 5, we got Bitcoin, Dash, an unusual choice, XRP, Litecoin, and Ethereum. So yeah, fancy little infographic here. XRP listed at number 3 down here. Or rather, no, those are not the choices. Those are just the coins that they decided to put on the cover. Number 1, okay, this is going slowly. Number 1 is Bitcoin. Number 2 is Ethereum. Number 3 is XRP. Number 4 is actually Libra. And number 5, JPM coin. But it says LTC in brackets here. That's strange. LTC is the short form for Litecoin. So that doesn't make any sense. Nevertheless, with regards to XRP, it states banks of the world are all increasingly opting for this solution, meaning the fast cross-border solutions such as UBS and Crédit Agricole. And Ripple's blockchain technology has a particular advantage of being able to handle both fiat currencies and cryptocurrencies, along with other units of value, i.e. precious metals, securities, so on and so forth. Transactions can be settled in less than 4 seconds as compared with 2 to 4 working days for traditional wire transfers, etc. So they are seeing the benefits of this and seeing that it is not only going to be used as a means to transfer cryptocurrencies, it can transfer fiat and other things such as precious metals and securities, so other investment tools as well. Getting DeFi on the blockchain is really going to be Ripple's business in the coming years, and they will thrive at that. You know, the financial market is a huge market. Obviously, Ripple targeting cross-border payments right now, but they are looking to get into more verticals down the road. So that is very important to note. And Natixis listing them as their top 5, one of their top 5 cryptocurrencies. We got Anders Lundberg here on Twitter. Brazil will be the first BRICS country in ODL. Will it? Won't it? Well, apparently, Michael at Val5Links here posted this. Ripple's head of global banking said in an interview that the company is targeting Brazil for its next payment corridor, and this with regards to the Marjan Delantine interview that happened recently. She had an interview earlier with Future of Finance over YouTube. Head of global banking Marjan Delantine said that the San Francisco-based startup is actively working on developing a payment corridor in Brazil, so it is confirmed, guys. We extend these services now to more and more corridors, typically exotic corridors, with lots of changes like the Philippines and very soon within Brazil. So let's say there is a big agenda and roadmap on that. She said when explaining the perks of ODL technology, Ripple's infrastructure for Brazil would make use of its ODL technology to ensure instant cash flow in a much cheaper way than the methods offered by banks and traditional fintechs. Delantine explained that Ripple's focus on creating a product that dynamically provides liquidity rather than using the traditional approaches of Nostro and Vostro could simplify the lives of its clients' banks, making it cheaper to process cross-border payments. This, after all, is what ODL is meant to do, and it is the technology behind the upcoming payment corridor that Ripple seeks to establish in Brazil. So there we have it. That closed-door virtual meeting sounds like they were talking about ODL in Brazil. This is what we were speculating all along. And see, guys, a little healthy speculation doesn't hurt anyone. We got it right. ODL corridor opening in Brazil, it makes sense. Brazil's got a fairly large economy, big country for remittance as well. And so, Ripple getting their tentacles into these different countries strategically around the world. Of course, they are pre-planned choices. They aren't just throwing a dart on a map and saying, that's where we're going to establish ODL next. They are planning this strategically, guys, for a bigger rollout. Once cryptocurrency regulations come to pass, this is my opinion, okay? They want to move on this. They want to keep the ball rolling, so to speak. So anyway, thank you so much at Michael Val5 Links on Twitter. And we got this next one from the XRP Arcade guys. Coil subscribers can now track their payments. So Coil was the first web monetization provider, is the platform launched by former Ripple CTO Stefan Thomas. Coil enables creators to post public and exclusive content on Coil, which is automatically enabled for streaming payments. Creators can web monetize their own websites by adding a simple tag. And by using PayTracker, they can now track these payments. So up until now, when Coil subscribers visited a Coil monetized website, they could view the stream of XRP being transferred towards the website owner. However, Coil doesn't have a feature to show subscribers a breakdown of where their money went, and now they're able to. Web monetization providers like Coil don't track or know which websites their subscribers visit in the name of privacy. This is why Robert Anthony Soriano built PayTracker. As explained in a Hacker Noon post, PayTracker is a browser extension that lets you track and manage your micropayments to web monetized websites having a web monetization provider member. PayTracker stores all of your micropayments locally on your device. Only you have access to your data, not even the web monetization providers can read the data. PayTracker is 100% open source software. The source code for PayTracker is hosted on GitHub, and everyone is free to review, audit, and contribute to the PayTracker code base. So more developments for people using Coil, for people reading Coil blogs. They can now track where their payments are going, so that is a great tool to have. More developments in the XRP ecosystem means more value added to the XRP ecosystem, which means as we start seeing time go by and we see cryptocurrency regulatory clarity become clearer, more people will start using the XRP ecosystem for many, many reasons, and the infrastructure will already be built and ready to go. So I want to thank Leonidas from the XRP Arcade for posting that. And guys, this next one's about a debacle about XRP circulating supply. What is the real number for XRP circulating supply? Well, I'm going to read you this from XRP Arcade as well. XRP circulating supply on reporting websites breaks due to faulty integration. So let's get into this. Leonidas mentions that a lot of these cryptocurrency market cap websites take their information from one source. They're monitoring the XRPL and they're taking the information from the Ripple API. So Ripple has been monitoring the XRPL, updating an API on a weekly basis. Anyone can do that since the XRPL is open and not controlled by a single entity. Ripple's data includes the total distributing, circulating, undistributed, and escrow supply of XRP. Even though this data can be calculated independently, reporting websites have been relying on Ripple's API and presenting that data to their visitors. So the first issue that arises is that because Ripple's API is refreshed on a weekly basis, these reporting websites knowingly present outdated data to their users. Furthermore, by not pulling their own data independently from the XRPL, any downtime on Ripple's behalf affects their data and services as well. Now, there was a faulty integration, and that caused a bit of a debacle. So at the time of writing, if you load Ripple's API, it automatically loads 200 values by default. The 200th value occurred on April 19th, 2020, which was about 2 months ago now. So up until that date, reporting websites using the default syntax in their queries received the latest information from Ripple's API. However, even with more entries using this default syntax still shows the data from April 19th as the latest. This is the reason that circulating supply has been stuck at 44.112 billion. And you can see that here, guys. CoinMarketCap, the same number as CoinPeperica, Yahoo Finance, and CoinGecko, 44.112 billion XRP. The only one that's different here is Live CoinWatch, 44.258 billion XRP in circulation. And when I was doing my calculations yesterday, I don't know if you guys saw the video from yesterday, XRP could reach $30.60 based on circulating supply. We adjusted for circulating supply, comparing XRP to Bitcoin and how that could affect the price in the next rally. Well, I just used 44 billion as a round number just to kind of give you guys some easy math with regards to that. But it is interesting to see Live CoinWatch clearly has an updated number here, whereas the rest of them are going off the outdated data from Ripple's API after that problem occurred. So Nick Bougalis, a cryptographer and the software engineer leading the Ripple team, says, I think it's updated, but the problem is that the API is limited to 200 replies by default, and it looks like that's about 200 replies. Maybe that's not ideal from an API design standpoint, but it is what it is. This guy never really tends to seem fairly interested in anything we tend to talk about, the XRP community, with regards to his work. He's got his nice job at Ripple, and he's just kind of got his head buried in his coding. Funny thing is that I can actually read his tweets here on the XRP Arcade, but when I click on Nick Bougalis, yeah, he's blocked me. It's interesting that when I can actually see the tweets in here. Nevertheless, just a little sidebar. Anyways, that's his explanation for that. Not very helpful, but it is what it is. Now, we talked about the price prediction of an XRP perhaps being about $30 in the next bull run once we see that next pump. It is a possibility, and guys, I took that 44 billion as a round number for XRP to use as a demonstration compared to the 4.5 million Bitcoin that existed in 2010. But if the XRP supply is even less than 44 billion, we could see that number go even higher. And the thing that I hadn't brought up yesterday in yesterday's video was this. And this, I just remember Mr. B doing a video on this. The total supply held by, and this was from a Ripple document, okay? Total supply held by Ripple is this much. The total XRP distributed amount is 44.127,639,078 asterisks. And this asterisk here, as of April 26, 2020, total includes business development agreements that are still pending, which means that this number is not the actual number of distributed XRP in the ecosystem. They are holding some back for business deals and agreements that are still pending to enable these clients, enable these customers to have a supply of XRP once they start rolling out production on whatever project they're doing. If it's Brazil and there's an exchange in Brazil that needs XRP, they might give them 1 billion XRP. I don't know what the amount is, but they might give them some XRP to start with ODL. And so we just heard about Brazil as one example, but guys, there are so many other examples. Ripple keeps signing clients, so they are holding some XRP back. So this circulating supply is not actually the amount of XRP circulating. It is certainly less than 44.1 billion. Not to mention, guys, all the hodlers who say, at least claim, that they are hodling, that they are waiting for that 3-4 digit XRP before they start relinquishing any XRP. Also, let's not forget that there are escrow features available that individuals like you and I can actually set away XRP. So even if we hold XRP, we have the choice to escrow away XRP for 5, 6, 8, 10, 12 years, however long we want. So that XRP, even though it's technically, and I'm putting this in quotes, in circulation, isn't actually in circulation if we ourselves have decided that we want to stick it away, lock it up for 10 more years. So what is the circulating supply? Obviously less than 44 billion. Is it 35 billion, 30 billion, 20 billion? I don't know. All I do know is that that would mean that the price of XRP will rise higher than predicted based on the math that I did with regards to XRP price in the next bull rally. Right now we're sitting at 0.191 cents per XRP. But guys, once Bitcoin blasts off, once it hits that $10,000 mark, moves to 14,000 and beyond 20,000, the sky's the limit for the cryptocurrency market, XRP included. Anyways, that's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.